Hello there. There we go. We have our coconut water. So in this channel, just as I'm getting ready here, we are channeling higher frequencies and higher consciousness. Jesus and the Ascended Masters, they're guiding these conversations pretty much, and I am allowing them. So it might seem like me, but it is a lot of open pipe for them to express through my body. And so if you haven't watched the first episode of this is Human Energy 101. We stopped here, and as I said, if you haven't watched the first one, go and watch that first, and then come back to this one, because it sort of builds on each other, and it's very good that you follow along and that you're caught up. So in the last one, we were talking about the earth and how each of these beings here, these lines here, represents a human, right? So the same way as this cell, but it's earth, we are also a cell, but we look like this, but there is still a field around us. And that is that electromagnetic field that is going around every living creature. And that is more like a sort of like a donut shape that goes like this. But it goes around like a donut, as if you are in the center pit of a large, gigantic donut. So that's sort of what this is about, how your field actually looks if you would be measuring it with devices and things like that. And then there are energies coming down, that is, and around and down and up and around and up, and everywhere in between. That energy is very fine. It's universal energy. It is your life force energy. And that is what is fueling each human. And you can get energy from a lot of different things. But what we want to focus on is a little bit more on the psychology, because we are sharing this so that you can see the totality of how it is functioning. And so when you have this lower part, this is the feminine, and the upper part is the masculine. These are just center points within the cell. So within the cell, and this is the same as a scale. Let's see here. Just like a piano. These are the same as scales. Scales, cycles, vibration, oscillation, they're all going in cycles. The same as your energy and all of this. And so all of these chakras, you are actually moving in cycles in your chakras. That's what a day truly is energetically. That you're actually traveling energetically up every day. And you get to see the reflection. Root chakra, how well am I doing here? Things might get revealed to you about your root chakra. Now, and it doesn't go directly from down to up. There is a circular motion to it. So there is a complete math to this. This is something that you also can go deeper into. This is something that is called the Tzolk'in, which derives from the Mayan calendar, which is pretty much trying to depict the energetic, capturing the energy of a day. And so there is also a lot of studies about that you can dive into to figure out more if you desire. Because sometimes it might be that your body and your soul just lights up in a certain way. Go for that, follow that. That's your body, that's your cue. And that, literally, because if you, as your body, this electrical current lights up, how do you feel that? If I say something that you agree with, your whole spirit agrees with, your spirit's going to light up. Because, yes, I agree with that. We agree with this. This is why your hair stands when you are hearing like just the right music for your vibration to elevate into like getting your power back or things like that. That is elevating because you are literally reaching in frequency. But every single time that you go through this, you have to be able to read this. And this is, well, we can get very technical here, because as within, so without, as the macro, so the micro, everything has this, the way that things work here. So just the same as a flower grows, when it gets the right nutrition, it opens and it flourishes and it produces fruit. The same with the human. When you get it in the right conditions, they produce fruit. What has been tried before is more like taking advantage of that type of energy has been, and still in many circles, it's still kind of working its way out. Gaia is trying to show to the best of her abilities to everyone. All of this stuff is getting shown every single day. Gaia is working every single day. This system is working every single day. You can't stop it. It is a hamster wheel if you let it. But you can also recognize when you're in a hamster wheel of energy and go, okay, got it. Thank you. That led to that thing last time. And that's the whole point. And that's where we get to the crux of the matter, so to speak. And that is that every single thing that you experience with other beings, you will get drawn to this person. Let's say there is a resonance between Gaia and why you feel drawn to this person. And you don't know what it is from the upper part here, but you might feel the resonance in your body. Recognize that if you are just following the feeling, you are feeling dominant person. If you're just going by that as if it is truth, always. If that's your default, just recognize that in yourself, because then you know that you're a feeler dominant person. That's good to know. I don't know if you heard the gecko there, but that was Gaia confirming. The gecko went like they do. And if you are very logical, then you would want to know the mechanisms, which is what we are providing here. So these feeler, there is something here for you. They can't reveal what it is. You have to figure that out. It's just, either attraction or curiosity or whatever your body And whatever level that you have allowed opening for, like if you have said that no, you're going to be a monk, you've sort of closed off certain realities for you. All good, nothing wrong with that. But that is the way that energy expresses. Hang on a second. Let's just take a little. Sometimes it's just good to take some coconut water. How do you like my new setup? This has been, we have followed the body and Gaia. They have nudged me to create this. It's very, very interesting. It was a very interesting process. We are very excited how it turned out, actually. Yeah, we're still playing, which is fun. And this is also why that is important. The play with the body, like just the same as we're doing. Okay, where do we want to take this? So knowing, so then that's the first thing you have to sort of identify. Like, are you a feeler-based decision maker, let's say, or are you a logical-based decision maker? Usually, very traditionally, this is the male, this is the female, but it doesn't have to be, right? Nowadays, a lot of these roles are reversed, so that the logical is the female and the more feminine-based, which has nothing to do with femininity. It has to do with the body and feeling. So we have to get really clear what things are, because there's a lot of confusion. And this is why we go back to this dude here. This is basically the filtering mechanism that is filtering this information that's coming through the cosmos. And so based on that filtering mechanism, you can have a lot of garbage there, or it can be clearer than others. Usually, most beings have a lot of garbage there, and they're still trying to work out the reality of everything so that it becomes functional for them. Because all of this stuff doesn't mean anything unless you can bring it into practice. That's the whole point of this. Because there's no point, explaining all this spiritual knowledge so that you go, oh, I know more than anyone else. People get into these weird mind spaces, and then they're pretending not, but then they're feeling something else. And that's the feeler part. Once you start to get these things, once you start to get the distinction of these feelings and to be able to tell inside of your body, that's the key. Because all of this theory, that helps for certain things. But then to truly dive in and truly get this experientially, that's when there needs to be some deep dive, usually, to clarify all of this stuff. Because the thing is, this usually clouds what you even hear us speak right now. We are speaking energetic truth here. And you can still hear through the filter of, oh yeah, that's the same as this and that's the same as that. Links to different things and different modalities and different teachings, trying to make sense of things. It's normal. We all have an innate desire to make sense of things. What's that? That's the desire for light. That's the desire for the divine, to know and see the truth of everything. That is what light is. It is truth. So once you see the truth of some of these lies, it might feel uncomfortable if you have identified with the lie, but then if you recognize it and release it, boy, does it feel good and liberating to the body. It feels like letting go of a rock. And we remember being in the dualistic perspective, meaning that, yeah, there was a lot of that going on. And we remember that we had the odd moments that we would have a breakthrough. It would be like when life cornered us, that someone said something, that said something, that said something and did something. You know? And that is the way that usually it happens when it's meant to happen, when you're ready for it. Sometimes you don't have to go chasing after this healing. But it depends. Sometimes it can be helpful, depending on what level of consciousness development you're in. So it all depends. And you will know. You will know based on how you feel. And so if you are male dominant, that usually means that you have disregarded a little bit of your feminine. This balance between the masculine and the feminine, it is like balancing a ship. I think did we say that yesterday? I think we said that yesterday, but it's a really good metaphor. It is like balancing a ship. It's not that you just, okay, we adjusted this thing over here, okay, and then it's okay forevermore. No, you have to read the body continuously. You have to read the signs, the signals. You have to look at the gauges of the cockpit, right? The bodies are much like a cockpit. It's just that you like, oh no, that's stupid, that's silly, we're just humans. And you have all these weird things that hinder you from actually seeing that, all right. And that's how we see, and that's how we, like, making sense of your internal world. Making sense of what you are feeling and what that feels like in relation to what. Means everything. Because only by entertaining things, sometimes it's rubbish, sometimes it's good things, and then when you're connected with the feeler and you actually know what the feeler is, so that you don't fall for the manipulation of the feeler, there are emotions in the body that can trick you into thinking that you're listening to gaia or intuition, but it might be from your own programming. There is a difference, and you can tell. There is a different sensation that you can feel in the body, in the feeler. And when you get good at this, there are many other things that you need to balance when it comes to the masculine and feminine. Because there are balances and pitfalls in every single area of your life. With your parents, with your spouse, with your this, with your that. Where are you in integrity with who you are? Where are you starting to drift in and give your power or like manipulate, or like all of those things is where you lose energy. We had a moment today. We sat out there in preparation for this video, set the intention and all of that, and this bat came around us, around this tent that we built outside, and we were just feeling the joy and the ecstatic feeling of the body that produced. And we just stayed with it. And we stayed with the feeling. And just the anticipation of it coming back. Staying with the body. Staying with the, where is it coming next? And they went around and around. I think it was 2. I'm not sure if it was 1 or 2. But they were going, and they were like, like they were truly playing with us. through Gaia. And in those moments, we have ruined it before by going to the camera. So we were just like enjoying the moment. It's so important to do that, because otherwise you might miss it. Because it is such a sweet moment for the body to experience. And that's where the joy is. That's where the beauty is. When you get that and follow that, that's beautiful. Because then that's you in alignment. In that moment, you felt a resonance from your body. And that is pure life. From Gaia. Instigated from Gaia. Through another being. Through another. So sometimes our brothers and sisters are our best teachers. And so I feel like this was a really good segment. We got to dive a bit deeper. And if you have any questions about anything that we have gone into, please let us know in the comments. And let us know how you like these so far. And know also that your curiosity leads this as well, because that is how spirit works so wonderfully in these times. We love you so much. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll talk to you again in the next one. Ciao. Thank you. Talk to you again in the next one. Ciao.